connect to our Ujjayi breath. Just starting right off by washing that breath, not only through core, but from pelvis to skull bones. Our work today, our intention that we carry today is delight in every pose. So this is a little bit of a sorting type of concentration, in the sense that kind of sorting for and feeling with specificity for that quality of delight, right? Liveliness, intrigue. And sometimes that delight actually is kind of clustered into a lot of our meditating, our circumstance. Important. This is not an aphorism. This is not a mantra. This is not a phrase that we're washing over everything. That's a different kind of practice. This is more of a sorting concentration practice. The life force, the liveliness is here. Assuredly, it is here in this experience, but we may have to train ourselves to parse it out and experience it. So in this simple seated position, am I breathing in a way that helps me discover delight? Let's switch the cross of our legs so we're right over left, knee pile, or cross-legged if knee pile doesn't quite work for you. Now, delight can be on a spectrum. It might be fireworks, it might be quite subtle. So our perspective, our perception of delight will get some polishing. So working alternate nostril breathing. Let's go right hand. So right thumb, close right nostril. Inhale through left nostril. Twelve count exhale out the right. We'll inhale through the right. Exhaling 12 out the left. Slow it down a bit more. Inhaling through the left. Hold. We'll hold about 10 count. Exhale 12 out the right. And we'll finish this round by inhaling through the right. Hold up to 10. Softening the hips, the hip crease, softening, feeling the leg bones settling groundward. 12 count out the left. Okay. Let's switch the cross of our legs. Let's switch our hands as well. So I'm inhaling till full. We can do as little as no hold or as much as a 10 count hold. Exhaling 12 count. Okay, so 4 breaths. Here we go, on our own. And the key is delight. That experience of aliveness, I would argue it never goes away. But we may have quite a few overcoats on top of it. So again, finding that deep, it's a subtle experience. Right? It's really feeling into the light of the body. The brilliance, the kind of almost electrical aliveness. And allowing that to read through our experience of sitting, breathing. Because it's so easy to go into a mental mode of, well, this is hard, I'm going to grind through it anyway. Right? There's value in that. But let's keep in mind, if this is a sustainable, lifelong practice, delight, joy, humor has to be an integral part of this. And experiencing it in our body, right, must be a part of this. Looks like we're about through. Great. Let's unwind legs. Lie on back. Bring feet off ground, knees over hips. Inhale the head and the shoulders off the ground so that breath Goes deep into the low back, the pelvis. Pause right there, curl tailbone, which keeps the low back on the ground. You'll feel that contact. Exhale the left leg out. Now, as the massive left leg lifts or moves outward, keep that left side of low back down. Pull low belly down. Keep reaching through that left leg, though. Inhale, bend left knee. Curling tailbone. Exhale, right leg reach. That right side of back stays down. And now move the massive right leg out. Move it, reach it. Pull low belly down. Inhale, bend that right knee. Let's do 4 more per side. Continue. We'll do these on our own. If it becomes rather easy to keep the back on the ground, and start to reach your elbows toward your bent leg. So adding that little bit of perturbation, kind of rocking the boat. You can practice keeping your back on the ground. There's an enormous amount of quiet core work that happens when we do that. Yeah, if I just lift my elbows toward the sky, it's kind of a degree of effort in that. But then to keep challenging ourselves to ensure that we're in a learning environment, you start to reach those elbows toward the bent thigh by keeping the back on the ground. That's a totally different experience. Okay, let's test that out. You've got your roll. We'll put it between legs. Reach legs up. So already there's a bit of abdominal, that kind of intra-abdominal pressure required to keep that low back on the ground. We'll only be building on that and taxing it and educating that. Inhale into the low back. Feel breath descend. Hold that breath. Squeeze the roll, curling tailbone. Exhale the head and the shoulder blades off the ground. Now as you maintain the squeeze, curling tailbone a little bit more, reach those thigh bones up as you draw the low belly down. Let's do one more like this. Inhale, set the head down, keeping the back on the ground. Hold that. Squeeze, roll. Curling tailbone. Exhale the head and the shoulder blades up. Maintain the squeeze and reach the thigh bones up, pulling low belly down. Both at the same time. All right, inhaling, set the head down and exhale. So you have to have the back on the ground piece to get this next piece. Inhale, the head and the shoulder blades off the ground. Hold that breath, squeeze the roll. Exhaling, as you curl the tailbone, reach your elbows toward your right thigh, and notice your left back, your left half of back, remains on the ground. Reach the legs up, but keep that back on the ground. Pull low belly down. Inhale, come back centrally. Squeeze the thing. Exhale, curling tailbone, reach elbows toward the left thigh. But as you reach to your left, keep that right side of back on the ground. Lift thigh bones to sky. Keep back on the ground. Pull low belly down. We're just going to do two more. Inhale, back to center. Hold that breath, squeeze the roll. Exhale as you curl the tailbone, reach elbows toward the right thigh. Lift the legs toward the sky, but keep the sacrum on the ground. Reach the elbows toward the right. Keep the left half of back on the ground. Pull the low belly down. Inhale, come back centrally. Squeeze the thing. Exhale, curling tailbone, elbows reach left. Okay. I'm reaching left, the right half of back stays on the ground. Lift the legs toward the sky, keep the right half of back on the ground. Pull low belly down. Now inhale, come back to center, set the head down. Exhaling, set the feet down. Great. Remove the roll. And let's turn onto our elbows, and our knees as we set up some flash prep. So this will be staggered arms. And we'll start with a brief round of dolphin, just to get the shoulders ready. So first, elbows under shoulders, forearms out in front. Neck relaxed. Push. So you feel the rib cage moving up, away from the ground, between the shoulder blades. Inhale into those back bones. And with the toes curled under, exhale the knees off the ground. Gently set the knees down. So if you have any shoulder issues, you'll just rejoin us in that dolphin. Otherwise, take your left hand and place it on the ground behind where your left elbow was. So the left hand is somewhere near the left knee. Yeah? So the left elbow is off the ground. Good. Inhale, again, push the ground. The ribs go up. Between the blades toward the sky, curl the toes under, exhale, knees off the ground. Now, many of us may need to move this left hand back a little bit so that we can get that wrap of the shoulder. And now an option here is raising the right foot off the ground. Now, if I keep pulling that left elbow toward the back of mat as I'm relaxing my neck, consciously relaxing the neck, there's a pretty decent chance that neck area releases in a thorough and a deep way. So part of that wrap has to do with the neck. So keep relaxing the neck. All right, this is good. Let's set the right foot down, place the knees down. Now we switch the arms. So the left forearm is down, and the right hand goes in front of the right thigh. Okay. Mine's just a little bit to the right of my thigh, but in that vicinity. Push with both arms, both hands. Feel the rib cage lift up right between the blades. And on exhale, press the knees up. Now, if you would like, the option here is raising the left leg. But relaxing the neck. And we'll set that left foot down, gently set the knees down. Exit to rest. And let's stand in horse stance. So we've got a wide stance. Inhale, reach arms out to side. And then exhale, come on into horse. Hooking your left elbow over your right. Eagle in horse stance. So learning if any of that activity around the shoulder blades and the spine as you draw the shoulders down can further free up the neck. Now again, if you're really good at just grinding through stuff like, oh, this is hard, so I'm just going to grind through it. Where's the delight in this experience? The quality of learning that is capable when we're in reward, the reward of delight, of pleasure, is so much greater than the learning that can be done by just grinding. Right? Remember, we're approaching this as a learning process. Inhale, unwind the arms, let's keep the horse, and then exhaling, hook the right elbow over the left, eagle. And sometimes we have to reframe delight, like maybe that feeling in the legs is quite a signal of aliveness. There's blood, there's processes going on in there. There's circulation. There's cells getting cleaned, turned over. And inhaling, unwind the arms, reach them out to the side. Twisting horse stance, set the hands on the thighs. Exhaling, right hand pressure into right thigh. As you put right hand pressure down, we'll turn a bit to our left. And it's okay that this right shoulder shrug up a little bit. It probably will. And learn if you can feel your breath descend into the pelvis, the low back. Inhaling, come back centrally, and as we exhale, we'll turn or twist to the other side. Left hand pressure turns my chest to the right. I recommend relaxing the neck here. Many of us will use the head to turn our body. That's not incorrect. It's quite hardwired in us. But I'll suggest relax the neck and feel for deepening breath into the backbones, ligaments around the spine. And inhaling, come back centrally. Exhaling, we'll straighten the legs, heel toe your feet together. And let's stand at the top of mat. Suns, inhale, arms overhead, gently sink the tailbone down. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, step left foot back. When we set the knee down, press the legs down, draw the arms up, lifting the upper back away from the mid-back. Hands to ground, exhaling, step the right foot back, lower, plank to ground. Inhale, cobra. Breathing down into the abdomen and so into the low back. Exhale, lower, downward dog. Inhaling, left foot forward. Lunge. Use those arms, lift. So we're breathing under the sternum and into the upper back. Hands to ground. Exhale, right foot forward. Fold. Letting the fold help express all that breath, getting empty. Inhale, stand, draw the arms up. Again, lifting the upper back away from the mid-back. Exhaling, hands to heart. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, fold. Now, when we set the right knee down and lunge, you may want some padding. So inhale that right foot back. Okay. Now, when you come into lunge, interlace the hands behind your back. Using the legs, the pressure, push the earth. Inhale into the low back. Lift, telescope the ribs up. Exhaling, send the knuckles toward the right heel. And release. Inhale, hands to ground. Exhaling, chaturanga, we'll step that left foot back. And we'll lower all the way down. Cobra. So shift that tailbone toward the earth. Inhale into the abdomen, so under the sacrum, under the low back. Now use your hands and start to pull the upper back away from the low back as you push the earth. So there's a little curve, but I'm getting that articulation away from the low back. Exhale, lower down, downward dog. Now let's remain in downward dog for a couple extra moments. We are moving into turbo dog, but let me take us there. The upper arm bones, so between the shoulder and the elbow, feel the arm bones turning in the socket as you bend the elbows. Feel the arm bones turn. Feel for that. And you are bending the elbows, but it's not about the elbow bend. It's about the arm bones rotating, turning in the sockets as you bend the elbows. So keep going, Joy. Keep going. Feel the arm bones turning. Keep turning them. It's a subtle move. There you go. There he goes. Keep turning them. They're rotating in the socket. They're still rotating in the socket. They're still rotating in the socket, turning, turning. I get a little heat there. And lunge. Inhale, step the left foot forward. I'm putting the right knee down on padding. Okay. Interlace hands behind back. And when we release the hands, inhale, the hands down to the ground. Exhaling, step the right foot forward, fold. Inhale, stand, draw the arms up. Exhaling, hands to heart. I'm just getting the sense we did the same lunge twice, so oops. Chair pose. Inhale, bend the knees, reach the arms up. Now shift the tailbone down so I can bring my biceps back toward my ears. Exhale, fold forward. Monkey, inhale the collar away from lap. And exhaling the step, both feet back, chaturanga. Inhale, upward dog. Exhaling, downward dog. All right. Inhale, left foot forward, warrior two. And we're going with a deep warrior two. As long as our knee feels good, deep. If it's your butt that's warm, deep. We got the arms out to the side. Now connect to breath. Delight. There's great, great nourishment in many of these sensations, right? It could be the nourishment of just things mobilizing, emotions moving, blood circulating, deepening our breath. This may be the deepest breath we've taken yet today. Reverse warrior. Inhale the right hand to the leg, raise the left arm. And as you exhale, shift the left sit bone down as you lift through that left arm. Soften through the neck. And inhaling, draw that left arm up and over, coming out of that. And let's set the hands down, exhaling, chaturanga. Step that left foot back. Lowering, inhale, upward dog. You can choose cobra. Cobra is nice if there's some wrist or low back things. Exhaling, downward dog. Take a moment, in downward dog, soften neck as you connect to breath. Wrap shoulders. To get those shoulder blades moving, I use a really firm hand ground interface. Not rigid, but my hand is moving, pressing, working that mat texture to turn the arm bones. I'm turning them without bending the elbows now. So feel for, that's it, Marissa. And now relax neck, Marissa, and find out if that helps you breathe fully. Like you're filling the lungs. That neck can be quite an override to experiencing a deep breath. All right, inhale the right foot forward. We're setting up in a warrior two. Okay, exhaling and shift the tailbone down, getting this deep knee bend. Now let's establish a deep breath in this warrior two before we get into that reverse warrior. Okay. Inhaling the left hand to the left leg, raise the right. Exhaling as you sink or shift that right sit bone down, lift through the right arm. Inhaling that right arm up and over. As we exit that, set the hands on the ground, exhaling chaturanga. Inhale, upward dog or cobra. If you're choosing upward dog, you've got to press down through the tops of those feet. Exhaling, downward dog. And without moving the hands, keeping those fingers pointing ahead, can you rotate? Can you feel the arm bones turn in their socket? The suggestion would be toward bending the elbows, but you don't have to. Now lift the pelvis away from the mid-back. All right. Inhaling, step left foot forward. Set the right knee down, lunge. I'm grabbing a strap and I make sure it's in a large loop. Now, there's lots of ways I can get myself steady in this pose, where I've got my foot in the loop and my hand holding the strap. One is I can keep my left hand on my thigh. Another is I can just get my body next to a piece of wall or furniture. Okay. So if all feels really steady, you can reach for that strap with both hands. All of that breathing into the back is here so that we teach ourselves support the low back. Getting that breath into the low back. In fact, begin the breath in the low back. As you exhale, lift through the shoulders, the elbows, press through the feet, shifting the tailbone down. So I'm not letting my back get smushed. I have to amend. I have to change the pose so I'm not just collapsing in a exploiting my low back. We can take that strap off if you like. We're going to go directly into lounge lunge. So right hand to the ground, left hand, or left arm rather, hugs this outer thigh. Deepen breath. And inhale, we'll unwind, hands to ground. Exhaling, chaturanga. Inhale, upward dog. Exhale, downward dog. All right, we'll do one other side. Inhale the right foot between the hands. We're getting strapped for the left foot. And important for now, we have a brief practice, is is just get steady so that we can explore our breath. So I'll just start with the left hand on the strap. Or I'll start with my hip next to a couch or a wall. I can always change it to both hands on strap, but I'd rather you get really steady. Leg support, tremendous leg support. You've got to shift that tailbone toward the right heel. Push with that leg, that right foot, lift up through low back. Lift up through shoulders and elbows. And release, lounge, lunge. Set the left hand down, the left foot down. And the right arm hugs that outer right thigh. How I point, how I reach through left foot will help determine if I'm feeling through the front of the hip, the back of the sacrum, the side of my torso. And inhaling, unwind. And we'll press directly back into downward dog. Just step straight back. Wrapping the shoulders, which is that sense of turning the arm bones in the sockets, getting the crook of your elbow, the crease of your elbow pointing forward. And this is all while keeping thumb and forefinger plastered to the ground. And gently set the knees down. When you have a seat, we'll do one final move, bridge, as a kind of unwind. So if you need a block for bridge, have it by. Lie on back. And when your feet are set, okay, then exhale, curl tailbone up. Feet active. Enter bridge, insert block. Left foot stationary. Inhale the right knee toward your chest. Now you can remain right here, just drawing the knee toward the chest. That may feel like a nice thing on your back. Otherwise, exhale, reach that right leg toward the sky. Now, part of this is a back release, is working the legs. So I'm sending left thigh bone forward, lifting right leg bone up, breathing and lifting the ribs away from the block, away from the waist. And let's switch sides. Right foot down. And when ready, inhale the left knee toward chest. And if you like, exhaling, reaching the left leg toward the sky. Now, it's really common to just kind of sag the low back at the block. As a back release, keep lifting the low back away from the block. And to do that, lift the upper back away from the block. Set that left foot down. Shift the pelvis off of that block. Remove it. Begin your descent. Go segment or section by section. So the upper back comes down to the ground. You might pause, using an entire new breath. Feel the mid-back lower to the ground. Low back. Now, once your low back touches the ground, we're moving in the direction of Shavasana. So some people just like to tent their knees together here and allow each resting breath to just further and gently and effortlessly release the back. And some of you may like to take a more maybe proactive or propping approach, putting legs up the ground or doing another form of back release. Please select for your back the way it feels right now. What does it need? What would delight your back? And we'll take Shavasana. And continue breathing in a way that delights you. In other words, you're breathing such, and your perception is such that you're locating and experiencing firsthand that you're alive. The beauty, the wonder, and the intrigue of being an alive organism. Our mind, our emotions, they can default to some unresourceful places, not all the time, but this is just a way of training a new default. What if I were to default always gently and automatically returning myself to the pleasure and the joy of being alive? If that was a kind of a home base, what would that be like? And for a long period of time, I would feel as if I was having to manufacture this just to experience it. And that's okay. Sometimes we have to manufacture a thing to just start to get a handle on what is that like, what would that be like. And when you're ready, bend knees. Turn to a side. Press to seated. Namaste.